Hello and welcome to the show supported by Mediaproxy. Today we're continuing our series of openGear discussions. We're delighted to welcome back to KitPlus TV Bryce Button from AJA. Hi Bryce, good to see you again.
Likewise, great to be here.
So, as Matt says, Bryce, we're talking openGear. Give us a quick overview of what's going on at AJA.
Well, openGear is a fantastic format. It's basically the ability to mix and match all these wonderful cards with all these different capabilities and kind of tailor them per project, right? So we found when we moved from our original rack frames to openGear, the great advantages, of course, is sharing a platform with many other vendors and the ability for the client to then mix and match what they really need from any particular vendor and utilize them in the same frame. And we made a concerted effort to basically take our most popular mini converters, originally starting with things like DAs and HDMI converters, which are always popular, whether it's to or from SDI. And then bounce things up to 12G SDI because we're trying to simplify 4K cabling. Because 4x 3G SDI cables just means 4 more areas where things can go a little wonky. And then with the fiber stuff, where you're trying to extend everything, being able to get fiber converters in there that also handle 12G SDI in some cases, really powerful stuff. And then became a wonderful platform for us to move our Dante card to the OG Dante 12G. And that has really blown up a whole area of markets that we were hoping we would be able to assist with that are really taken to it. And that's a lot of the AV market, for instance. Had some great interviews recently on a little podcast that we've been doing. And folks are putting them in all sorts of places, from cruise ships to churches to obviously we see them a lot on concert tours and so on that are going on, and we've got some coming up that are pretty interesting in the next few months. So they travel as well, and then there's the shared controller with the dashboard software, which also again means that a user, once they kind of get used to dashboard, they're pretty much in there. But it also gives you the capability to mix with little things from other vendors, like, from Ordinate, the controllers there, the ability to map your channeling and that type of thing through their easy software. So we continue to work away at it. We certainly hope to have some more cards available later this year again. And we'll continue to build out on the platform because users have just simply found it a sort of rational, easy choice. You put the frame in place, go out for your project if it's a fly pack scenario, and you simply tailor and mix the cards as you need to. So it's about density, getting as many converters that are then able to talk amongst each other. And with a frame like that, you've got power supply redundancy. So it's just a little bit more secure than a lot of other approaches.
Very good. You mentioned Dante there and a lot of the other cards. One thing you didn't mention, which you've recently really entered into, which I'm hoping I'm not going to break something here that you don't want to say, but NDI. When are we going to see NDI in your OG cards? Is that coming?
So that's an interesting one. We're obviously looking at it. We've taken the NDI stuff to our turnkey solution with Bridge Live. And for those not familiar with Bridge Live, it's a incredibly powerful sort of encoding, decoding, transcoding box between 12G SDI and a bunch of codecs. And then as we've looked at the reality of the IP field, for the best quality and uncompressed quality, you're obviously going to go to SMPTE 2110. But it is a fairly expensive and hefty infrastructure investment. Whereas with NDI, you can utilize a lot of 1 gig infrastructure, things like literally off your laptop, you can plug into it, and you can get into it even from your iPhone. There's a lot of software ports, to get into the ecosystem. And at this point, there are literally thousands of NDI little devices out there, from PTZ cameras, etc. So yeah, we integrated that with the Bridge Live first because of the amount of power that's going on We've got NVIDIA RTX 4000 cards in there. We've got really great software from Compromato. We've got AJ's highly reliable 12G SDI and 3G SDI infrastructure all in the same box. And so the ability to transcode between all these things really does bridge you as you deal with the various environments that you run into. So the ability to take NDI, get it to H.265, vice versa, pump it out to 12G or 3G SDI into a router, we really think it's going to be a great puzzle piece and move it around. So when it comes to something like you're asking about the OG platform, there are probably going to be different considerations that we need to consider.
Fair enough.
If we decide to go down that path. But for the moment, we think we've put it in just the right place in terms of the types of mix of capabilities that folks are going to really need.
We'll put a link on screen, hopefully just above my head now, to a great conversation we had a little while ago that covered the whole of the Bridge Live, and people can find out more about that. Just rewinding a little bit, I guess the beauty of openGear is the control system. It's going to be a common across all of the openGear products you might have, and I guess that's one thing that people can really take advantage of.
Absolutely. If you go back a number of years, the rack frame business was difficult for folks in the sense that they might have to go from project to project and learn completely different systems in terms of the control software, etc. And since these products tend to be used a lot in live environments, that's asking a lot of the operator in terms of muscle memory, that type of thing. Nobody likes to be caught in a moment of panic going, where do I find that? Especially if it's, a live event with sports or music or anything like that, you don't get a second chance. The Rolling Stones aren't going to come back on stage for you because you happen to miss the menu choice. So, that kind of like simplifying things has been really key. And it's also, it's been a very nice, sleek, sophisticated interface. It can be as simple as it needs to be with the simpler converters where it's kind of set and forget stuff. And then with other items where we have like our raw HDMI stuff going on and you actually want a bit finer control, it's been relatively, I always use these terms carefully, otherwise engineers take my head off, but relatively simple to code for. And I think that has benefited everyone. And when you do have very specific things to your own product, you're still putting your own firmware. Each vendor, of course, can put their own firmware on the actual hardware. But again, it's that simplifying the GUI engagement, right? That interface and making it as simple as we can. And, adhering by some basic structures that is going to be common to all of us vendors that are producing for the platform.
Is there actually also another app as well, Bryce, that's an AGA app that actually helps you choose which AGA card is going to be the right fit depending on what you're looking to convert?
Yeah, so what you'd want to do there is we've got a little app called AGA Mini Matrix. And when you're looking for products, we have a category for openGear. And the great thing is you can type in basic search terms and so on. So if you're sitting there in a flurry, you need to put this package together, you've got a cruise ship that's got to go out, you can do things like type in, okay, I need to go from SDI to HDMI over here, and I'm also looking for some fiber connectivity. And this little app you can download off iTunes and then also look at it, if you're on Android, just look at it from a web page. It's actually formatted to serve a JSON file to you. So it's always up to date. We updated it yesterday, in fact, just with a mini converter that had expired, so to speak. We need to pull them out of the list. So it's always current, and it'll universally search, and that'll just make it really fast for you to figure out, okay, this is the problem I have. Here is what AJ is suggesting in terms of potential solutions. I can simply go on and immediately know the name, and I can rent or order this particular card to deal with this project.
Fantastic. Well, we've spoken about OG with you before, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again. So, about it, there'll be new releases. We look forward to them all coming. Thanks for coming on, Bryce. And do check out all the AJA solutions at aja.com, and of course the app to find out which card suits your problem. Don't forget, this is one of a lineup of openGear interviews, so watch out for the rest coming soon from a number of key partners. Many thanks to Mediaproxy, of course, for their support of KitPlus TV. Thanks for watching. See you soon.